No, that's not the end. Good morning. It is the day before market day, which means prep it up. So we have our strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, everything that we have to get cleaned and prepped for tomorrow's event. I've got some watermelon that I've got to make some watermelon balls with, slice the oranges, everything like that, and the apples. We are gonna have our glow up flavor, our Pride Punch flavor, our strawberry daiquiri flavor, peach bellini, and our morning bliss, always a bestseller flavor. So right now I'm just cleaning the fruit. I got my coffee. I got my, it's real good. My coffee for the day. So I still have to finish cleaning all the fruit and load up the car. But today I am drinking this new Nescafe iced coffee. It is really, really freaking good. All you do is use some cold water or milk with just 1 little tablespoon or teaspoon. Oop. I've been using a whole tablespoon. No wonder it was spicy. Anyway, besides the point. But I've been using that and my Tyrannies, because of course, and just my standard almond milk or oat milk creamer with it. But I will see you back in a little bit once I am done cleaning everything and hopefully making some progress, because it is currently almost 2 o'clock and we have to be in Dayton tomorrow morning at 9, and I still have to finish printing some things, changing some prices on the website for tomorrow, and then loading up the car. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished loading up the car, and it is pretty jam-packed in here, as you can see. And now me and Mom are on our way to get some lunch right now because we are starving.
Girl, it's dinner time.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are super duper hungry.
Yeah.
And I have a few little small things that I need to get done, but most of the fruit is prepped and it's, separated. It's in the fridge chilling and stuff like that. The car is packed up. The only other things that I still have to do are finish printing some labels off for the actual cups that we're using, because we are doing plastic disposable cups. We are doing on-site preparation. We won't be doing the bottles for this event tomorrow. And I have to do that. I have to update the website. Like I said, I have to update the website for some pricing, because we are changing some pricing. So if you are on our email list, then you'll get an email regarding the payment price updates. So originally the 1 bottle of water was $7.50, not including tax, but we are changing our prices and lowering them to $5. And I'm really, really excited, because hopefully things will start to be a little bit more lucrative for my business. But I'm on my way to get some lunch, and then we will check back in. All right, good morning. It is market day, and I am extremely exhausted, but we are prepared. I've got my strawberry earrings, repping my city for Pride Month. I've got Percy the pineapple on here. We are ready to conquer it. shirt. I'm making the video for the YouTube. Okay, we are all set up here at the Dayton Vegan Fest. So we've got some animal rights, animal action, activism companies. We've got some patios. Not sure what that is. Some vendors here. Merchandise, t-shirts, of course. So just hanging out down here. All the good stuff. I think it's good stuff. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that wind is gonna get us. Daggone it. I did like this, like my hands. Hi.
How did you all decide to do this business?
It actually started as a school project in my final semester of college.
No way, that's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I studied at Cincinnati State, majored in marketing. We had to do a project that basically implemented all the techniques we had learned throughout the degree. And I filled out all my forms for fakesies. And I decided, well, this is now for realsies.
How often do you have to do the preparation on site? Often or not?
No, this is our first time. This is our first time.
And also, I didn't tell you about our other one. We have a pride punch. And it has, so it has the,
I love the name, like, well
yes.
done.
Our pride punch, yeah. So it is a June exclusive.
June exclusive, and we do donate some of the proceeds. So blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, granny smith apples, just like the rainbow, the pride rainbow.
Wait, so
flag.
how come you did that one? Oh, wait a minute. You're having to make mine separate because I don't want this. Is that why?
No, so everyone's is pretty much separate. The pride punch just takes a little bit more ingredients.
So we were able to
So
bring
we
it.
were, yeah.
Genius.
So I actually had to bring the fruit in the container and then fill it with the
How
water.
cute is
I
that?
know, I was like, pretty
Yes.
Thanks, y'all. I've been staring at it, and I was like, I love sparkles, and I love the milk carton. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I am making this a week after. So today's Monday. The event for Dayton was last Sunday. So I'm making this a week later. But pretty much I stopped recording because I was extremely upset and distraught. And I have been going back and forth with some things as to how do I go about like getting my money back and blah, 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 blah. But let me start from the beginning. So the event that I went to was the Dayton Vegan Fest. The event was sponsored by Sprouting Dreams LLC. And yes, I'm name dropping because, to warn you, I was just so upset about what happened. But basically what happened was I had been following the Dayton page or whatever, and they had always been really good to me. 2 years ago in 2022, was it 2022? Yeah. And no, it was in 3 years ago. In 2021, I had just started my business, everything like that. We went, my mom and I, just as a little trip, decided to go to the Dayton Vegan Fest just to, check it out. I had seen it on social media. I thought it looked really cool. I was like, awesome. Like, we'll go, check it out. Give us like some mom-daughter bonding, whatever to do. So fast forward 3 years later, I ended up being invited personally by Dayton Vegan Fest to come and basically be a vendor. So the person messaged me on Instagram. So they DM'd me on Instagram and they were like, oh, so excited for you to promote us. We would love to have you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my gosh, like I would love to be there. Absolutely. I've always dreamed about it. I thought it was really cool. And I went a couple years ago with my mom, basically just hyping them up, telling them how excited I was. And she goes, okay, well, we'll send over the application. You just fill out the vendor application. Everything will be fine. Cool. So I fill out the vendor application, blah, 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 blah. And she messages me back. I'm assuming it's a lady. I don't know who this person is at this point. I don't know if it's male or female or they, them. I don't know who it is I'm talking to at this point. I'm just talking to the page. So I'm messaging the page person, and I was like, oh, I just submitted my application. Cool. They were like, awesome. Like, we'll check our email right away. We'll go ahead and, process you through. It'll be fine. She messages me back like 20 minutes later and she goes, oh, well, we're putting you in the food category. It's going to be $100 for the vendor fee. I was like, okay, fine, I'll bite the bullet. I have not done an event at all this year because everything got booked up and I had been working my full-time job. I had just made a really big move with my mom last month. So I was like, you know what? I'll eat the cost. Here go your $100. I was like, cool. So that was red flag number one because I sell bottled water, and all the other events in the Ohio region that I have done have never put me in the food category. So I wasn't too mad, but it was definitely red flag number one. Because after she sent the message, she's like, oh, well, the health department's going to be there. Are you licensed? Do you have everything you need? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I don't. So I messaged her 3 days later, or no, it was 2 days later. I messaged her 2 days later and I said, hey, unfortunately, I'm going to have to drop out. I really don't want to get anybody in trouble. And right now, I don't have all of the licensing that I need right now because, like I said, I just moved. We're doing a change of address. Everything is just processing right now. You know what I mean? And I didn't want it to affect them. And then, like, I drive all the way up there and then I get shut down. You know what I mean? So I said, hey, can I get a refund? Oh, well, unfortunately, we don't do refunds, but they go to, the bills and event fees and blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, cool. She was like, well, I can credit you for the next event, which would be in September. And I was like, well, I specifically chose this reason, this date, because this is what was available. I'm not available in September, so that's why I didn't pick the September one. So anyway, fast forward. Um, I was able to kind of like get some temporary permits while my other stuff is being processed. They gave me some temporary stuff and we made it work. So the night before, I started doing all the prepping and everything, I bought everything that I needed to hold the containers because she said, well, a way to get around the Montgomery County for Dayton, which is where the event was being held, is to make them on site. So I said, okay, I'll make them on site. So I had to come up with a plan and revise for how I was going to prepare the waters on site, right? So I had to like go buy a cooler. I had to buy extra bags of ice so that the fruit could stay chilled versus the ice that I was using to serve. Like, there's so many different codes. And if you're a food vendor, you know all about like health codes and regulations. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I get to the event. We're cool. We hit the road at 7:45. Everything is cool. We're having a great day. I said, you know what? Fuck it. If they send us home, they send us home. But like, I'm fucking going. Excuse me. I'm going. So we get out there. We set up. Everything was cool. Everything was fine. There was a volunteer that showed us which spot to go in. And when we pulled in, so the food truck vendors had to be there at 8 a.m. to set up. Food vendors, which was me, food, had to be there at 9 a.m. The event started at 12. But I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. So I get there and I pull into the spot. And as I'm looking, I was one of, I think, two other food vendors. There was like a bakery, baked goods there. But here's the food vendors. So you pulled in, the food trucks were over here, and then the other food vendors were like right behind the food trucks. Why am I all the way over here? I mean, I'm on the other side of the courthouse square. So that was kind of red flag number two. I thought that was very suspicious. So if you see in the video, you see that we're set up at the end, which I did not know because based on the map diagram and layout of where they told us we were going to be, it made it seem like you could come in from both sides. So the way that the courthouse square works is there's a main street and then there's another side street, but you can enter the courthouse square. It's kind of sunny. You can enter the courthouse square on both sides. So I'm thinking that, okay, it's going to be two entrances and exits. No, baby, I was the exit. So the main entrance was where all the other food trucks were. So you'd walk in, kind of like take a little loop around, you get to my booth, and then that was the end. Like I literally had somebody say, "Oh, thank you so much. Have a great day." And I'm like, no, that's not the end. Like, where the rest of the people?" But anyway, so in the video that I showed earlier, you can see that I was stationed at the end and I was by all of the kind of like activist organizations for animals and protection of animal rights and things like that. I was by one and then two across from us. And I said, "Really? You put all three of them boop 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 in a little corner together?" Which is my biggest pet peeve. I absolutely hate going to markets. Now, mind you, this is my first market with them that I've done. So I didn't know what to expect. I had only just been there 3 years prior as a attendee, so I didn't really know anything about this person, this organization, or anything like that. They messaged me. So the biggest thing that I hate about vendor markets is why do you put competition side by side? So I said, okay, the activist community is there accepting donations. You mean to tell me as a consumer, I'm supposed to donate money to this one and then donate money to this one and then donate money to this organization? That makes me feel pressured because I'm doing it for a good cause, and I feel like they're all here just lurking for money. And not to mention, all three of these groups, they were all friends. So they kept talking to each other across the walkway the entire day, and they kept walking back and forth, which was very, very annoying because, I'm trying to do business, I'm trying to, make sales. It's really, really hot. And they're just having friendly conversations. And I'm like, okay, can you not? Like, please don't do this. I understand that, they're here, but please don't do that. So, anyway, fast forward, I didn't make any sales. I ended up buying so much produce because I was making them on site and I was really, really pissed. The turnout was very, very low. I mean, the turnout was low compared to, oh snap, compared to how many people actually follow this page. I mean, I go through credentials. They have almost like 5,000 followers. I mean, they promote it, promote it, promote it. They've got tons of likes, tons of views, everything like that. And I'm thinking it's going to be a cool little turnout. I mean, they promote it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for this event. It was loud. There were so many people that walked by and, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? What's going on? Like, I live in the area. I didn't even know this was going on." So you didn't promote locally. So I thought that that was really shitty because you missed out on a good, 1,500 people that probably could have come just in the downtown Dayton area to this event. It's a very great event, celebrating veganism and vegan lifestyle. It was amazing, but you didn't promote. So that was red flag number three. And I'm getting ready to leave. End of the event, 4 o'clock. I mean, I'm just done. Honestly, I was ready to pack up at 2 o'clock, but it said we weren't allowed to leave early. But I wasn't making any sales. So I'm sitting there, I'm getting ready to pack up my stuff, and this woman walks up to me and she goes, "Hey, did the health department come over to you?" And per her words, I already knew who she was because of the conversations that we've been having through Instagram message. So she's the freaking event coordinator, and she came up to me at the end of the event, which really pissed me off because I mean, it's a good 85 degrees in this heat. I'm starving. It's hot. It was a waste of my day. I've got a 45-hour drive back home to Cincinnati. I was pissed. She goes, "Hey, did the health department come up to you?" And I was like, "No, they never came up to me. And you knew they didn't come up to me because I wasn't anywhere near the food vendors. Me and my mom overheard one of the other ladies talking about how one of their friends who had a food vendor truck was waiting for the health inspector to come so she could be clear to sell. So the health inspector was there, but because I wasn't near the food, they did not come to me. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So then I was like, no, they never came up to me or anything. She goes, oh, well, how did you like everything? I was like, it was fine. I would love it if there was a survey or feedback, anything. I'm irritated at this point. I'm dripping in sweat and I just did not want to talk. I was like, please just leave me the bleep alone. Just please. So I'm packing up and everything. And when I say the drive home was just silence, I was so pissed off. I ended up spending $100 for the vendor fee, about $80, probably like $75, $80 in produce, and a good $140 on the rest of the stuff that I had to buy to make my stuff on site. So I was out of a good chunk of money and my sales were $163. So no, I will not be back. No, this is not the end of our market season, but it seems that this is not really the point in time for us to do pop-ups because it takes more money out of what we're actually making. So I'm not even breaking even at this point. I'm not even making a profit. So I was really, really frustrated. I was really irritated and I really debated about even making this video. That's why I stopped recording because I was just so pissed off. I was just so I was so mad. I was so mad. But anyway, you live and you learn. And we are still trucking along, but it definitely was a learning experience. I will not be back. But before I sign off, the icing on the cake, not only is the event coordinator also a small business owner, her truck that she sells food out of was one of the food vendor trucks that was there. And I'll put the clip right here in the video. So she didn't come up to me at the end or she only came up to me at the very end because she was selling food herself. So when I think about that $100 that you made off of every food vendor, there are probably about 13 of us there, including food trucks. You made $100 off the food vendors. That was a good $1,300 that went to bills and event fees. Come to find out, the courthouse is public and all you have to do is reserve the time and what type of event it's going to be. No one had electricity. They all had power generators for their trucks. So what bills, baby? What bills? So anyway, I will leave it there, my hydrated humans. You guys let me know in the comments below if you think I was swindled and think if I should ever go back again. Should I just give up markets? Should I just continue doing what I'm doing or give it another try? But leave your thoughts below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video and leave a comment if you thought it was just well worth it. And we'll see you next time.